Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm sorry I've been gone for quite a bit. Um, I got sick literally two or 3 days ago, and I've just kind of been worrying about more of my health than trying to produce some videos for you guys. I am completely sorry about that. I am completely um sorry that I've kind of um haven't been posting. I really wanted to post. I really wanted to edit. Just I just really felt like shit. I kind of didn't want to do that. Um, as this video shows, and as you probably guys can tell from the title, this is Project Unleashed, and yes, I I'm gonna talk about my experience that I've currently um that I gotta live really, which was Halloween Horror Nights 2019. I was actually really thankful and kind of glad that I was able to experience it with my brother. It was his first time to Universal Studios and also his first time to Halloween Horror Nights, which, being his older brother, it's really. It means a lot to me, I would say. Me and him used to bicker a lot back then. Now it seems that we don't bicker whatsoever. We are like really good friends now. Um, but that's not the case. I'm here to talk about my experiences with Halloween Horror Nights, and if you guys are going to be going, I do highly recommend it. This year was a lot better than last year. Last year I really didn't get scared on any of the mazes. I think I only had a jump scare, which was at Stranger Things. Kind of pathetic, I know. But I was heading towards the exit. I literally thought, just a quick streak to the exit. I didn't know that there was a window with a Demogorgon, and little do I know, Demogorgon was gonna fucking spring his hands all across my face. But either way, we're gonna jump right into this video, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the mazes that I've got to experience. And on top of that, the experience that I've also had. With Universal and also with Horror Nights. Keep in mind that my ticket is fairly different from what your guys' ticket probably is. I've purchased the 2 p.m. and a night ticket, which I kind of felt was really good and essential, I would kind of say. You really don't need it, but I feel like if you really want to experience majority of the mazes, then I highly suggest you get one. I went on a Saturday and I was only be able to do 7 of the mazes, and I know there's quite a few of them that or 2 or 3 of them that I missed. But we're gonna jump into the ones that I really got into, and we're gonna do it in order that I've kind of experienced it from, and we're just gonna talk a little bit about it and talk a little bit about how I felt about the maze, how it could have been different, if it was better from last year, if it was even there last year. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so first, it looks like I have on my list is Stranger Things. So Stranger Things this year was um it was really disappointing. I could say that foremost. I was expecting more just because it brought in season 2 and season 3 as a bundle, which they had a lot of potential. They had a lot of things to work with. They had a lot of um stuff to do. They could have done a lot with it, but sadly for what we got, it wasn't really good. We did go um, through Hopper's cabin twice. We went through it in Stranger Things 2, or Joyce's house in Stranger Things 2, not Hopper's cabin, am I mistaken? We went to Joyce's house in Stranger Things 2 with all the little drawings of Hawkins. Then we went to the tunnels, and then lastly, we finished off in the labs. Um, what I could formally say, really, is that it kind of felt like, I don't know, to me it felt like they didn't have enough space, or They literally used the same soundstage as last year, and last year they really did really fucking good on incorporating the story of what they had and of what they showed on the season 1 better than what they did in season 2 and season 3. Um I feel like the season 3 portion of the maze was shit. I love Horror Nights for what it is, for it using its television rights and for it using its film rights, but uh, I feel like the only reason why they kind of ditched out 2 and 3 was just because they wanted to get rid of the series, or not really get rid of the series, but for them not to incorporate it back next year and have the repeated series like they did with The Purge, where they literally brought it in like 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, probably more. Um, but I'm pretty sure they didn't want to do that route again and kind of kill it off while they can, and they could probably incorporate a new maze. Um, but going further into that, I really did feel like the season 3 portion of it was just Hopper's cabin with the mind flare and into it, the mind flare monster, and it wasn't even scary. There was nothing. There was no jump scares. There was no like truly like, oh my god, like holding your shit type of scary, or like let your shit release from your bowels type of scary. It was just literally something so small and something it really didn't feel like like you're submerged in that form of realm. It just felt like you've seen the show really fast and sped up, and you kind of miss a lot of what happened. We did have Bob dying again, sadly Bob, and we also had Hopper stuck in the tunnels as well. But I feel like a lot of the Stranger Things section could have been done better if they incorporate it into a bigger soundstage, and they've done it a little bit better than obviously, and to bring in more scenes from season 3 instead of just the fucking Hopper's cabin. Obviously, it feels like the mall never existed. It feel like, none of that Russian underground shit ever existed, which if they brought that in, that would have totally changed um how the setting would have felt, because it literally was just Hopper section. You leave the room, and that's about it. So I give, out of 10, I'll give Stranger Things a 5. It's a good maze. It's, if you're there, if you're really big fan of the show, you're just probably gonna like it just because you get to relive and step into the scenes. That's about it. As far as scare factor, there's none. Um, just yeah, I give Stranger Things a 5 out of 10. Okay, now moving on to our next category, our next maze, which was Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and that that maze was really, it was really fucking good. It told the story between the two and how they clash together, and how both of these really old legends came to one. And literally it scared the shit out of me. This maze incorporated two characters again, and they both jump at you roughly around the same time. I was kind of distracted because I was recording with my phone the experience. Sadly, a lot of that footage is dark, and you can't really see it just because of cell phone lighting. It's shit. Well, um, I tried my best. I could say that foremost. But I feel like this maze was really good. It was really scary. I got scared a bunch of times. I flinched a lot just because I got scared because one would reach over and then the other one would be right in my face, and then, I will go down, and then I haven't gotten really that scared in a good while, and I'm kind of glad that this one scared me pretty good. Um, it did a lot of back and forth again, and I really really enjoyed it. I really liked the concept of bringing these two legends together, and they produced a pretty good maze. And again, it was scary. It was really something I couldn't really think of because I went to Universal Monsters last year and I walked through it fine without giving a fuck, and yeah, I wasn't scared whatsoever. Okay, so I give that horror scale, I give it 7 out of 10. It was really good. It did scare me a bit, but again, atmosphere and kind of tells the story a little bit better. A little bit better than what Stranger Things did. But yeah, now moving on. Now we are heading to the blockbuster hit, Ghostbusters. Um, so we experienced Ghostbusters right after, and I could say that it matches a lot with the movie. Um, I really can't remember the movie. I probably watched it a long time ago. I really can't remember. I think I only remember bits of it, really. But again, it does match a lot with what the movie had. It does match a lot with what kind of the fans were kind of thinking of. It wasn't a scary It wasn't a scary maze whatsoever. It was more or less of a fun maze, a fun movie that they incorporated and trying to bring it to Horror Nights. Those the dogs that you kind of see right here in the middle were there as well. It wasn't scary. Uh, the big the big puffed blob was there as well. This guy was there too. He wasn't scary. It was kind of funny looking at him. But yeah, a lot of these creatures up here were there, and it kind of it was fun. It was really a fun maze, and if you're a really big fan of the show, if you're a really big fan of the movies, and you're a really big fan, or not the show, what am I talking about? If you're a really big fan of the movie, I feel like you would really love this maze. The aesthetic, the vibe it was fucking fantastic. But again, it was really good, and I give Ghostbusters on the scale. I'll give it an uh, a 7 as well, 7 out of 10. It wasn't scary, but it's just the factor that it really did match a lot with what the movie was. It really did capture that form of feel. Yeah, I give it that form of grading. Now, Creep Show, it was it was something that I kind of and I didn't grow up watching it. Um, I did watch the snippets of it again. Um, but Creepshow just it was it was more onto the weird factor. It wasn't scary. I know you get the crypt or the dead kind of guy jumping out you. He'll reach forward to you. He'll try to like jump scare you as much as he can with all the poster reels. I didn't get scared whatsoever in the maze. It wasn't truly scary in me. It wasn't um yeah, I wasn't scared whatsoever. I guess it kind of incorporated from what the movie had. I merely did just I didn't think that whatsoever that this character right here was scary at all. I thought it was pretty funny. Um I wasn't truly scared. I mean, if it matched a lot with what the movie was, then of course I would agree with it. I would agree with that it was exactly what the movie was and what the movie is. But other than that, I give Creepshow a 6 out of 10. It wasn't scary. It was just more on the weird factor and the more of it being with what the movie was, and just more really morphing around that form of factor, I could say. Um, the next one is House of a Thousand Corpses, which I know it's a movie by Rob Zombie. I never watched it truly. The only Rob Zombie movie I've actually watched was Halloween. Really fucking good movie. Um, but House of a Thousand Corpses, I could formally say it wasn't scary at all. Of course, I did have some jump scares. I got scared a little bit, not a whole lot. Um, it was just more on the factor of me just making fun of my brother because my brother was jumping around a lot. He was getting scared. He was getting frightened. But merely I wasn't scared really of what it was. Even though it did match a lot with what the movie kind of was, it wasn't. It just wasn't scary. I could say that foremost. You do get wet. You do get wet. I could say that right now because I got fucking wet randomly out of nowhere, and around this time I started getting sick. It was just a really bad experience, to be honest. I got wet. Number two, I got sick. Um, there was just a bunch of people there that weren't fucking moving, and yeah, it was really a crazy experience. The jump scares again wasn't too bad. It wasn't too crazy. Um, I wasn't scared for the most part. I did catch surprised, one or two times, but um, again, I give Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. I give it a solid. I would say a 6 out of 10, just like Creepshow. It was exactly like Creepshow, like that weird factor, but it was a lot tied in with the movie that I sadly haven't watched. I should watch these movies before I went in. Um, I know that was kind of my fault and I fucked up on that, but yeah. Okay, so on to the next maze, which was Curse of Pandora's Box. Now this maze was so fucked up. It was so fucking scary that me and my brother kind of made a bet was if we waited 2 hours to be disappointed in this ride or in this maze, I'm sorry, that we were just gonna stick with nothing but rides. We weren't gonna do us. We weren't gonna do Killer Clowns. We weren't gonna do Holidays in Hell. We weren't gonna do The Walking Dead. We were just gonna stop mazes and go home. Just do rides and go home. We were not willing to stay the full extent of those 2 hours if we didn't get scared, which we 100% did get scared. And my brother was shitting it this entire fucking maze. Now, let me tell you, this maze is kind of like it eases you up to a story. Um, Even though it's kind of jumpy and there's like lots of cuts in it, it's really all mishmash, I could formally say. But we literally got disbanded from the group behind us. Um, me and my brother were second to last to go in the maze, and literally the first scene you're met with a pretty insane guy, and and it jumps to the next scene where all the scares and the horrors and the bullshit come in. But the group behind us, literally the party behind us, literally left after the two first fucking scenes. And it was such a crazy big gap. I didn't want to lose the people that we were in front of because obviously I want to see them get scared and them get the jump scares, and I also want the jump scares as well. But um, there was a neon room which it really worked a lot with the sweater that I bought. I bought the Halloween Horror Night sweater, which it's exactly what this form of image is, except for the top shot. I don't know what the fuck this is all about, but it's exactly that. That's exactly how the sweater looks, and I could just kind of predict how it looks because I can't see my fucking back. If I can, that'll be fucking a miracle. Um, I bet my back looked fucking amazing, but it was literally a fucked up maze. We got scared left and right. We didn't know what was going on majority of the time. We were trying to look for scary monsters, trying to see what's going on, and we just kept on getting consistently bombarded with people scaring us, people jumping at us, people fucking trying to reach us. It was just so fucking like like cutthroat fucking scare. Like this is what I fucking knew Halloween Horrors was all about. Was just being fucking scary as shit and just enjoying it with your friends and your family. And this fucking maze scared me so goddamn bad. And I'm a person that normally doesn't really get scared. I kind of just whatever brush it off. I got scared. I got scared shitless really with this fucking maze. It was so crazy to kind of think of, wow, like this is the fucking maze. And when me and my brother left, we were just in awe that the whole 2 hours that we stood waiting in line was so fucking worth it. It was worth the build up, the time that we were there for fucking Curse of Pandora. It was going so fucking high, and so many people were trying to get into line, and so many people were trying to get into the maze. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I truly did not know how I felt about it. Again, we experienced it. We've kind of felt all the fears. We went through everything. We went through the neon room. We went through like the kingdom's tomb or whatever the fuck that little tomb thing was. That crypt type of thing. But that we literally experienced it and we got scared shitless on it. We got scared fucking shitless on it. And it was such a great maze. Like, I give this maze a literally a 10 out of 10 for scaring the shit out of me, for scaring the shit out of my brother, and for being something so unexpected that we didn't know anything about this maze. I didn't know anything about this maze. I just heard a lot of YouTubers say that it was fucking scary. I didn't know. When I stepped in there, I was like, okay, for sure, let me see what they think it's scary about. And I walk out there fucking petrified as hell. Like, whoa. Like, whoa, honestly. Whoa. Again, I give Curse of Pandora's Box a solid 10 out of 10. Now, on to the next maze, which was Us. Us. There was a lot of controversy dealing with this maze right when the maze first launched off. So many people were saying that wasn't, it just wasn't what they wanted. A lot of people were offended. They said it was really lackluster, and it kind of got dealt with a lot of bullshit in the beginning, from what I heard of. Um, from what YouTubers have said, it has changed as since then became better, and oh, and now it's really is something so great and something, you know, kind of similar to what the movie was. The movie literally kind of it brought out that little horror vibe with the actors literally not fucking blinking, which kind of scared the shit out of me when someone is staring at you without blinking and kind of walking next to you really close to your fucking face and you cannot like mind them whatsoever. Um which was what I experienced when the mom of the movie kind of approached me and was literally next to my fucking face, and I didn't want to look, and I was so fucking scared I didn't want to turn. Anyways, this movie kind of resembled a lot of what not the movie, what this maze kind of resembled a lot was towards the movie. You do go through their house that they have in San Jose. You go through everything. You go through the little maze the little girl goes through. You go through the underground tunnel thing to where the others were getting kept held at, which they do have like a little black box area, so it's like spacing you out as you go. Um, so they do have that, and you're kind of just really reliving what happened in the movie and what you're really experiencing. Another thing that you're kind of dealing with and kind of experiencing as well is you go to um after that, after the tunnels, you go straight back to where they're holding hands. You jump to the end, and my brother literally got scared a lot. I wasn't scared truly. He was scared. Um, he was jumping left and right. I was just chilling back there, just laughing at him. Really, I'm glad that he enjoyed Horror Nights and that he enjoyed the day. It would really bummed me out if he really never really liked Horror Nights or never really liked um the time that we had going to Horror Nights, because I spent so much money trying to get these tickets, and I've been keeping it away from him and as a secret in total, which he was totally surprised, to be honest, and that's something that I was really happy about. Um, and as far as this maze, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It was really good. It matched a lot with what the movie was, and it really did match of what um Mr. Peel had had to do with it. So let's re-go through all of the mazes again. Stranger Things, we gave it a 5 out of 10. Well, for Wolfman, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, we give that a 7 out of 10. For Ghostbusters, a 7 out of 10. For Creep Show, we gave that a 6 out of 10. For House of a Thousand Corpses, a 6 out of 10. For um for Curse of Pandora's Box, we gave that a 10 out of 10. And for this one, we're giving it an 8 out of 10. Which, if you kind of look, it's really divided evenly. But for the majority, it's on the good. It would this year was really good. It was really it it was just something that I kind of wasn't experiencing, or I kind of wanted more of, was just more scares, more originality behind the mazes, more movies that I kind of want, which I have been begging since 2000 fucking 14 for them to drop a Sinister maze, cuz that movie is fucking scary as fuck, my guy. That movie was like fucking made me shit like a million different times. And I just want that movie to be or I just want that movie to be incorporated with Horror Nights. And I feel like if it does, it would literally just raise the scare factor up a million notches again. But again, I feel like this year went really strong with Halloween Horror Nights. It brought out a lot of things that I kind of didn't know that I was able to bring out, like Curse of Pandora's Box, which was fucking scary, and also with Frankenstein and the Wolfman, or Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Um, how using the two legends together side by side really does add a scare factor to it as well. Um, but other than that, really, um, we do have, or I want to talk about some topics that I kind of wanted to bring up was some of the scare zones that I went through. I've only went through two. I didn't go through a whole lot of them. I just went up and down the staircases trying to trying to get to the mazes as much as I can. And number one was Toxic Tunnel. I went with it with the lights on and with the lights off. And literally nothing changed from both experiences. It's literally the fucking same as it was last year. I think last year they were more motivated to scare more people than this year. This year I just walked past a couple, they shoved their weapons literally so fucking far, and then they're like, "All right, we would just walk past you." None of it really scared me. None of the actors looked really pumped. They looked kind of lackluster. I really feel like that form of maze, or that form of the sorry, not maze, scare zone should be really taken out and should be revamped with something different. I don't know what they could bring to the table. Um, something completely like they could just fog the bitch up in there, dude, and just have you guys walk straight down and be bumping into people like Knott's Berry from does with Ghost Town. Um, but as far as Toxic Tunnel, it just has to go. It doesn't need to be there anymore. It's overdue. It's stay. It's really it's really fucking boring. With the lights on, I felt like it was kind of better than with the lights off, and with, whatever music was blaring and being blinded by fucking 50 million lights that you kind of don't want to be blared with because you're already tired as it is, and and having to deal with the factor of, oh shit, there's creepy collies walking around. What? They're not gonna scare me? Wow, that's kind of different. Yeah, it is fucking different because they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to fucking scare you. So that's really what I wanted to say about fucking Toxic Tunnel. It was shit. It was so fucking bad. I give Toxic Tunnel a 0 out of 10, honestly. Or it's probably a 1 or 2, just because I like the music. Other than that, it was bad. Um, Going on to the next scare zone that I went through, which was Spirits and Demons of the East. Now that one was pretty fucking weird. That fucking banshee thing that's on stilts. Up close, that shit looks scary, dude. You fucking don't know, dog. You don't know. It was really terrifying having to see that shit right up in your face, right up in your grill. Um, but another thing is, it's about um, those types of scare zones where it's just small little characters that they throw in just trying to poke funny at pop culture. Um, I really feel like it doesn't need to be there. Um, it really works out a lot because it did scare a lot of people. They're a lot more motivated than people were in Toxic Tunnel. I could say that for a fucking fact. Um, but yeah, just the mere fact that these people were a lot more motivated than the people that are supposed to be motivated was kind of different for me, I could say. But yeah, it was just really a big old fucking fluctuation of whether or not if Toxic Tunnel um or if literally these mazes were the shit or just literally these scare zones were it. But I feel like Demon or Spirits and Demons of the East was better than Toxic Tunnel, and their actors just played it a lot better than they did as well. They brought the fucking energy to the table of scare and horror, and that's merely what I'm going for. I'm paying so much money to go for that. Um, so as scare zones and um as far as mazes goes, that's all I have to really say about it. The experiences was fun. It was so cool to experience it with my brother for the first time. It's his first horror nights. For me, it's like my seventh or eighth. I've been around the game for way too long already at this point. I'm still not slowing down. I fucking love horror nights, and I want to do the haunted hayride. I want to do the 17th door. I want to do so much haunted mazes this year, or the years to come. But I want to do so much just because I fucking love it. Halloween, the Halloween season time is literally my favorite season time. To normally say. But the last thing I want to close this on is just merely on lines and the rides. Um, Lines, you should expect that there is going to be lines. And again, I had the 2 p.m. and night pass, and I wasn't even able to get on all the rides or do all the rides and do the mazes that I wanted to do. We did knock out a lot of them. The only ones that we really missed out was Holidays in Hell and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Those were the two mazes that we didn't do. You could look up any other YouTuber and get their reaction on it. I wanted to give you guys my reaction and my opinion of the mazes that I went through and the scare zones that I went through as well. Um, but yeah, those were merely the mazes and the scare zones that I went through. The lines were really long. If I'm not mistaken, Killer Clowns from Outer Space literally went up to 3 hours. Us went up to 3 hours. Um, Stranger Things was 2.5 hours. Uh, Jurassic World went up to 2 hours. Everything was at least hours and hours and hours of time. You could literally do any other maze and you'll be perfectly fine. You could do literally any other maze and every ride, but you will only do like 3 or 4 of them if you don't have like an express pass or you don't have the fucking VIP tour or the RIP tour, or if you don't have any of those items, it's kind of impossible for you to do all the mazes. Which, if I'm not mistaken, the RIP tour kind of takes you right into the maze. You don't have to wait in line. They're just like, yeah, just fucking walk the fuck up. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. But yeah, as far as lines go, as far as rides, I feel me and my brother are really bummed out we weren't able to go on the Jurassic World ride. We literally waited like 20 minutes to 30 minutes in the line to go on Jurassic World, and the ride breaks down at the worst moment. It's like an hour or two away from the Jurassic World closing because it doesn't close at 2, it closes at 12:30, and it's like, yeah, fuck you, we're closed. The rides is broken down. And they said like, oh, it's gonna be 30 minutes for it to be fixed. So we waited perfectly fine. 30 minutes is 30 minutes. That's gonna go over pretty quickly. And next thing you know, 30 minutes went to 2 hours. And, we were just like, fuck it, let's just hurry over to the mummy. Literally, everybody dispersed from Jurassic World. It was so much traffic trying to get from one ride to one other, while there's so many people just scattering literally everywhere. Um, I feel like the mummy line was pretty good. It went down pretty quickly. It wasn't too drastic. It wasn't too cluttery. It just I felt like it was something that was doable. If I wasn't mistaken, it was only 100 minutes, and I literally felt like we just stood there for like an hour or so, an hour and like 10, 15 minutes, just because how fast the ride is. It's really short, it's really quick, and we kind of got up there pretty fast and got to do the ride as fast as we could. Um, but I feel like that's all the points I really need to say. Just Halloween Horror Nights really needs to fix just the line scale. Oh, and another thing is they need to bring back the fucking scare movie, the Scaramony or the Scare-a-thon. They really need to bring that fucking back. Just have a little bit more precaution, people. You don't have to run at them if they're running at you. You should just kind of accept it. The ceremony is really what is to officially and pronouncedly declare Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights to commence. Now it's just, hey, we have these mazes open now. At this time, you could go wait in line if you like. And literally everybody's all their way. But again, lines were hell. If you want to go and do all the mazes, Express Pass is the way to go, even though it's a little bit on the pricey side. Sundays and Fridays are, if I'm not mistaken, Thursdays probably. I haven't checked Thursdays tickets. They're fairly cheap. Stay away from Saturday as much as you can. Saturdays do tend to be a lot pricier than they normally are. Um, but yeah, I could say the Halloween Horror Nights experience was really good. I really enjoyed it. I give the whole experience a solid 8 out of 10.